So, welcome to Live on Tabletop. There's been some recent news from Black Chantry regarding two card erratas, two major cards getting changed, and a tournament rule adjustment as well. So, I figured we could talk about that today. Tommy, you're a big fan of Ashur tablets, play a lot.
Do you want me to get my 30 out? I can get my 30 out right now.
You should have, actually. I just waved them. Look at all this money I wasted. Yeah, as a guy who's done the most ridiculous stuff with tablets as possible, how do you feel about this change? Do you think it's justified?
I mean, I don't think it's justified necessarily towards Ashur tablets, because I don't think Ashur tablets is the problem. I also don't know if it changes that much, to be honest. But I've not really played with the 1 a turn rule yet. But
yeah, I think
overall, I don't think it was Ashur tablets that needed to be hit. And I don't know how much this actually changes stuff, really.
What do you think?
Yeah, well, like, if you ask from Bram or from Otso, they will say that it's just fine. Like, the card is just fine if you're gonna play like 6 to 9 or something. But if you ask any girls player or especially any blackjack player who used to play like 21 of Ashur tablets, that is gone. That's gone.
Do you think the deck's just dead now as a result?
Pretty much, yeah. Like, that's the end of story.
Yeah, so we're talking about Sibel, Nanaburuku, Inner Circle guys, and just nothing but MasterCards, right?
Yeah.
Tommy, do you think it's dead?
I don't think it's dead. I think it obviously gets worse, yeah. But I don't think it's done.
It's one of those things, like a deck playing solitaire with itself, like wanking off for, I don't know, 1 hour before it does anything else besides plays masters. Good riddance.
Yeah, I think that they from what I can work out from it, they've done what they intended, which is hurt that deck and only that deck, because it can't compete with other decks playing Ashur tablets as well. If you're playing, say, Banu Hakim, and you threw 9 in your deck just to keep your combat package flowing, and you play 1. You're player 1, right? You go Ashur tablets, then you pass the turn. The girls' MMPA deck's looking at you going, I've either got to wait until they're gone or hope you don't play a third, because like they're always going to be ahead of you because you can only play 1 a turn. So there's no way to cheat them. They can always just.
Is there not an argument that they're playing less than you anyway? So maybe you just start to play yours and just
that's
hope
what I'm
that they
saying.
can draw their third, though.
You've got to choose which way you're going to go. You can try and outpace them, or you can. But either way, you've got 3 turns. You've got to signal what you're doing.
There's also this interesting interaction with one specific old card. I won't say what it is. I'll let the viewers decide it for themselves to find it out. I don't want to spoil it just yet. But this one card that hasn't been played that much just got a lot better.
Okay. Well, whatever this card versus itself, you can show me.
Would you say it's a very specialized card?
No, not that one.
Okay.
I mean, well, the other option is with MMPA, you could potentially get ahead by using sudden reversals as well. So you can stop the Ashur tablets, play your own with your second master phase, or wash. You don't lose them. But all decks can use wash to try and get ahead of the tablet wars, which is quite fun. So I think weird. We're going to see a lot more forced interaction around that card that, as you said, was solitaire, right?
I feel like if you go down that line, though, they've tried to take they've tried to weaken the master side of the game, but they've inadvertently made it more about masters, because now you need to play sudden reversal and wash just to win these Ashur wars.
In a way, yeah.
Well, maybe that's quite healthy as well. I mean, it could harm decks like this new Ravnos one we talked about recently. Having your once a game Weaker Nightmares sudden reversal or wash is problematic if it becomes a lot more commonplace. But it also means that people will become less reliant on Verlaine. And there's a lot of crutch cards that you spend your master phase on. They'll become a lot less reliable.
I remember the times when Kiasut decks used to play like 7 washes or 7 suddens. That was interesting.
Yeah, I like at least a couple in any stealth bleed deck just to stop the lanes. But I'm guessing that was maybe pre-Verlaine when everyone was minion tapping.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although turning off someone's trifle really upsets them every time. So there's another card that got hit as well. Emerald Legionnaire. You won't seem happy about that.
I'm very happy. Very happy.
Well, we've had a few players trying to prove for a while that the card's busted. Because Emerald Legionnaire can be brought back from the ash heap when you've got one in play, and it brings one back, and then that one brings back another one. So you just have a legion of allies for the cost of one pool and one action, which is obviously a bit crazy. But now they've limited it. What is the change specifically? Did they limit it to having harbingers in play?
One per
unique harbingers.
One per unique harbinger.
Yeah.
Right. Oh yeah, unique as well, because a lot of people point out straight away you can't play the embrace just to try and get some more out.
Another nerfing of the embrace.
I think that's a
To
great
be honest,
fix, yeah.
even though I loved Emerald Legionnaires, I've been sick and tired of those for more than a year now. I totally get where this nerf is coming from. It was fun to see the first iterations of decks trying to abuse it. Like at the start, it was like Alcoan trying to Infernal Pursuit your whole deck to the graveyard and go from there.
Yeah.
And quite quickly it devolved into Top Dogs and Inceptors and some Temporary Tricks, which is obviously the boogeyman here. I played the Piper Khurshid Wall kind of thingy, cut off action modifiers completely, had some success with the deck. So I'm not sad, I'm not angry. I'm just happy that the card is gone because I've played it so much. And I've been sick and tired of the card for more than a year now. And the only thing that I need to say on this matter is that I understand that things take a while in gaming companies. If you're familiar with Games Workshop doing stuff, it's always a year too late. These nerfs and bans and so on. And what I mean by this is that I feel like Legionnaire should have been nerfed over a year ago, because the V5 decks are just so much more powerful that now it's just feels like an insult to the injury.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people speaking like that. There are a lot of memes going up about it happening in 2024 when it should have happened a good while back, that you say. But at least it happened. I think it'll be good to see a shake-up Bill Troxel especially. He's been trying to get it nerfed, right?
Rock Cats next.
Rock Cats.
Looking at Danilo Torres's GP Milan winning deck, abusing the same Tubdog Inceptor thingies, playing Rock Cats and going crazy with them.
Oh, right, okay.
Watch out, Rock Cats, you're next.
Well, the thing is,
really good.
Rock Cats is
Really good.
quite a nightmare to get hold of at the moment as well, isn't it? So I think when we finally see Guardrails up on print, when we see them up on print and demand, there might be a change by then. That's probably next time they'll change it.
The only thing
I
that's
think
keeping
that's a similar
Tubdogs in
thing
check is the fact that every country has enough for one deck. And that's the only thing that's keeping them in check.
Well, but I think Top Dogs is crazy, but I think the more it got played, the more we'd see it get hated out of games as well.
Yep.
Scourges and Hurricanes is quite rough for that deck. Nice Top Dog. Bye. Next person.
Yeah.
I'll kill your Top Dog as well. Thank you.
It was awesome.
Last
Last year's Swedish Nationals, I was in a table with Tommy and Nora, and Nora starts the game with Scourge, knowing that Tommy is playing Tubdogs. That was funny. the game starts. There's one card on the table, and then there's 10-minute discussion how they will split the table, and then it's a normal game of Vetes afterwards.
Yeah, I'd be like, I won't play it this turn if you do this for me, and then next turn, I won't play it this turn if you do this for me.
Yeah.
By the time you need to actually draw it to then play.
Whoa.
But yeah, like I'm happy about the Ashur chains. The card wasn't completely destroyed. The non-interactive solitaire deck got kind of destroyed, and I guess that's good for the health of the game. Legionnaires too late, but I'm happy that they're gone. I know I will get a lot of messages from people like, "How can you say that?" But no, I am happy it's gone.
Well,
On that topic, does anyone want to buy 30 Ashur tablets?
check the Facebook Marketplace; it'll be available right now for the rest of the time.
Yeah. Don't look at drive-through cards. 15 cents. Nah, rip off.
If you get the ones on drive-through, you can't lie about what they do. Whereas if you get the old ones,
Yeah, prison. And then when they inevitably change them back to the original ones,
which will happen any minute now.
it'll happen anyway.
Yeah, well, I agree with what Antti said. I think it's great that they've kept it as a viable card in the way it was intended to be played. And same with Legionnaires. Like, it was designed to give Harbingers a much-needed boost, and every other clan took advantage of it. So it's great to see that we won't just see decks with one Harbinger in just to get it done, or
it wasn't even that. There was a guy. Wasn't there a guy on during lockdown who was trying to get a game win with? He was trying to get. He was trying to get a game win with every single clan playing Legionnaires. Just
that was really bad. He won with Top Dogs, as Antti said. He was using Summon History, which lets you get an ally from your deck and put it into play and ignore the requirements for it. Giving Top Dog Agent of Power to give him 10 powers, which is just silly. So silly. And he done. I can't remember what his strategy was, but he played Daughters of Cacophony as well and got them out. I can't remember how he cheated them out. We're playing them with Daughters of Cacophony, Emerald Legionnaires. There's got to be a point where you say enough's enough, right? And he definitely proved this point. Good job, Bill. We got there.
Good luck. The real hero.
And like it's not all doom and gloom. There's still the possibility of having some kind of trick with Erlik going on. Like I've seen players doing like Erlik lay low kind of thingies. Like that's still possible. I'm not saying it's good. I'm saying it's possible. Like their Legionnaires aren't completely gone. It will.
No, they're just a Harbingers deck now, right? They're just the actual deck they were supposed to be instead of whatever you wanted to shove them in, which is healthy. So the other change is the multi-deck ruling coming in to make do check the event, don't just turn up assuming. Organizers can opt to make their tournament multi-deck. Now, hello! Sorry, you got a visitor in the background. So organizers can opt to make their tournaments multi-deck, which means you can change your deck between rounds, whether you want to tweak your deck, change out a few cards, maybe try and metagame a bit by saying, I think I'm against Spellfleet next round, or whether you just want to put it aside and get a totally different deck, which is very open-ended, I think. I think it's a bit too big.
Yeah.
Someone mentioned on Facebook about the idea of players turning up with their entire collections because they don't want the chance of one card being missing.
Yep.
Excellent.
To which I brought up, what about people with smaller collections? They're at a huge disadvantage, right? But
it's going to be so expensive to go to the Week of Nightmares from now on, like cargo plane for just my collection. God damn it.
I think this is a conspiracy by big eBay to sell more cards.
What about if you get your suitcase and try and dress it up like an obese man and fly with him? Antti said he needs an extra plane just for his cards. Just take it as a travel companion.
So what's the actual change? You can basically play any deck any round.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to
You still need to confirm to the regular deck construction rules, but
yeah, of course.
It's like every round. This round one.
I don't like that. I don't like that. I think they should have, like, if they were going to do something like that, you should be able to enter like 3 decks or like 2 decks that you could play throughout the tournament.
Yeah, it's not for every
weird
player and not for every event. Like I talked with some American players, and their play groups tend to be quite a bit smaller than in Europe, and they are like far more experienced players than we are back here. So for them, it's an interesting change because we don't have to play it with the rule; it's a possibility. So, like, it's a choice.
Yeah, it's a choice. It's the organizer's choice.
Is it going to be at big events though? Like, is the Grand Prix going to be like this?
No, it specifies no national championships, no Grand Prix, no European championships.
In that case,
continental championships.
In that case, who cares? Who cares?
Well, I still think it's a bit odd, like because I feel like the biggest issue for me is the TWDA is going to be filled with decks that didn't win events. They won one game.
Excellent.
So 3 rounds in a final, 56 players. Great, I'm going to play this. And you play it and you're like, wow, this is clearly a 3-2 deck. How did they win an event of that size? And you're like, oh, because they played Stealth Bleed. How does
this is a perfect time for me to go thumbs up. Here is my thumb. Thumbs up for Peetu and others who are trying to build up their own database kind of thingy from tournaments. That the idea is that you see all the decks, not just the winning one. And I like that because it gives some nice data about like decks that are constantly in the finals but maybe not winning them. Yeah. Like that gives a far more broader idea of what people are actually playing. And I will try to find the link for that later and like post it to you.
Yeah, it's quite interesting to see, like, because you can also see, say you're like a new player and you're looking for ideas and like, okay, I want to build a deck like this. You could look it up and go, oh, it's actually coming last consistently. Maybe the concept doesn't work, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can use it to avoid bad ideas as well as get good ones, which I think is quite interesting.
Yeah,
so I did see about that.
I really like that people are trying to make the deck lists for events known more, because if you look at the TWDA for the past like year and a half, basically it's all mostly variations of very similar decks. It's like, well, what if I don't want to play Gangrel? What if I want to play something else?
Yeah.
And then you got to look at
you can lose the Gangrel.
So I think on Codex of the Damned, they've got like other lists, but a lot of them are really old. So it's like, oh, you could play this deck. This used to be a really good archetype, but it's not been updated since 2014 or something.
That's the weird thing. Like that Codex list you're talking about, they rank like these are the top performing list. So these decks are the most consistent in the TWDA.
Yeah.
But that spans like 20 plus years. So we were talking earlier about the old Tsumishi Toolbox list that you don't see anymore. But that's one of their top tier lists because over however many years it was consistently good. But you don't see Banu Hakim, Gangrel Anarchs, and all those in there that are winning right now. Like, okay, this list is pretty cool, but does it get the crap beaten out of it by Bruja? Maybe not Euro Bruja, but Anarch Bruja certainly. You know, it's
if you look at the Codex of the Damned. If you look at the Codex of the Damned top tier lists right now, there are lists that have arrows next to them to show that they're like incredibly recent. But you've got like Cats, which is
when's the last time you saw someone play that?
Aramane wall deck, and it's the list that they've got is from 2018 from Polish Nationals.
That'll be the last reasonable event it won. Yeah,
6 years old, if not more.
Yeah. So some feedback for Lionel, maybe look into like the last 2 years and look at the consistent decks rather than the whole TWDA. If you can limit that search, maybe it'll be a bit more relevant of information. It'll be quite fascinating to see what is doing that well. Like you say, with Legionnaires dominating and things like that, it'd be good to see what cards are causing problems. Because if you're like, okay, well, this deck's winning a lot, this is winning a lot, and this is winning a lot. Hang on a minute. They're all Smiling Jack decks, so maybe Smiling Jack's too good right now. And it's not. Don't do anything to Smiling Jack. But like, it's just an example. I've played too many walls to badmouth Smiling Jack. Don't you dare.
Kill Jack. Kill Jack.
Just take a damn D action. But there are cards like that are quite powerful that maybe you could put a D action on that would make it a bit less powerful. You know what I mean? Like spot and problem cards. I think it'd be a good way to do it.
Hakeem's Law, whatever the banner Hakeem card is, that card needs to have a way to Retribution. Yeah, I can't believe there's no way to kill that.
That really needs something.
It's not. Yeah, the biggest thing is even if it was a location, you could start running like arson or whatever to try and get rid of it. Right, unnatural disaster stuff like that. But currently, there's not really any interaction with it other than watching yourself die. We've meandered a bit away from the subject, though. I was talking to Mike earlier about this multi-deck rule change, and he said he liked the idea of like a limited sideboard, like a Magic or most of the card games. But I still feel like because you got a crypt and a library, you could potentially go, right, I'm on the top table now. I'm going to sideboard out Summon Me Crypt for weenie guys with Dominate. I'm going to put 10 deflections in. And that's my 15 card sideboard is 11 deflections and 4 guys with Dominate. And then,
I'm going to side out all my Stanislavas because now everybody is doing their own Fear of Mechets in, and I'm going to put my new Jimmy's in. Haha.
Yeah.
Yes. Combo.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you could do, but I think the issue is, like I said earlier, people with limited card pools or especially new players, like Mikey tends to only play Stanislava because he doesn't have the time commitment to like play a lot of decks and learn them. And I've got a friend who's just started. He made the final with a Malk Stealthbleed deck. So if that was a multi-deck event, I could be his prey, put in the 10 deflections and the 4 guys. And he's like, well, I don't know what your deck is. I don't know archetypes. And I'm like, yep. Well, I've got a big ass collection.
What do you mean 10 deflections? Then you're playing 20, huh?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or the opposite is like, because people are you're less likely to play against Stealthbleed in the final, maybe, because people can get there and then play a deck that's more interesting to get in the TWDA, right? So you're like, right, I'll take all my deflections out. And that, like, card that's downside is only redundancy is gone. Like, deflection's nuts. The only downside of deflection is that they might not bleed you for 8, right? And it's like, okay, well, if they're not, I can discard it and I've got a dead card because I'm doing really well anyway because I'm not getting bled for 8. But, like, I just think it's too much of a shift that could happen. I also think that there's an issue where you can sit down and then your Predator can go, oh, you're changing your deck? I'll change mine then. And you're like, oh, I know that deck. You played that round 1. I remember the sleeves. I'm going to play this if you're playing that. And they go, oh, well, if you're playing that, I'm playing this. And you're like, right, so how long do we keep shifting?
Yeah.
And what's the time limit? Do we do it before seating, after seating? How do I know you've decided? Like, if you put the cards out, you can bluff what deck you're doing deliberately. Like, I'll put out a Gilbert Duane, and you'll see, oh, he's playing Malk Dominate Bleed, and then I'll go, right, cool. I'm actually playing a wall deck, but I'm using that crypt.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome to see like different versions of the same rules. Like this is the Helsinki play groups ruling for like first you sit down and then you can sideboard, and then you guys are like, no, it's the other way around.
Yeah. Imagine you've seen someone play 2 rounds out of the 3, right? You've been on the table with them. You get to the final, you're like, I'm going to be their Predator, and then they're just playing a different deck, and you're like, oh. Okay. What's the point in picking Seaton? Because I don't know what anyone's playing. Isn't that the whole? So what's the point in the preliminary rounds if we don't know where we go with them? I've snuck in 5th position. Tommy's won 5 VPs in all 3 games. But he's like, right, this deck's gone really well. I'm going to play this, and everyone's like, he's top seed, so let's play a deck that beats him. That's not an advantage for winning, is it?
All combat, all finals.
Yeah, every finals is going to be combat.
Yeah,
because like first seed thinks that he will play a wall. And second seed is like, well, I'm going to play the Wall Crusher. And everybody else is, I'm also going to play combat. And that's it.
Yeah, I'm going to play combat because I could never make finals with it. So now I'll play it.
So it's the only way to guarantee combat makes it to the finals. It's excellent.
But I think, like, all in all, it's a cool new way to play the game. Like, you don't have to do it, but you can. It's cool. It's something new.
Mm.
I know that we will at least try like one tournament in Finland, just because people are excited about the idea.
Well, one of our princes in the UK said he was looking at doing multi-deck, so I guess I'll see how it plays out there for real in practice. I mean, I'm quick to dismiss it, but like I should try it. I prefer not to, but I'll give it a go. But yeah, how would it work with your friend's database? So if they building this database using all the decks that are playing the events, but everyone could be playing different decks each round.
Makes no sense. Like you don't even want to collect data from that.
Yeah. Well, that's my issue with I think I looked at the making a new event. I don't know if it's allowed yet. I think that comes in February as well. But there's nothing at the moment on the event calendar that allows me to mark it as multi-deck. So it's just the way I advertise it. I tell people, I write down it's multi-deck. So I don't think it's going to categorize separately in the TWDA. So you won't know it's a multi-deck tournament when you look at the result, the TWDA, unless you look up the tournament. Which,
I suppose you could write it in the tournament's name. So like you could have like a big MD at the start of it, and then post it that way.
That could work, because the way it's posted on the TW,
we just have
basically we put the list on the forum, and then someone uploads that onto the site. So we could just write it in like that.
Yeah. We need to have a chat with Van Sant because like that could create some problems.
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff there. But say one thing positive about it, because I've just slagged it off for a while. One of my the first event I ran, a friend of mine came. He'd not played in years and years. I gave him a bunch of newer cards. He played like Group 2 Ministry. Ministry now. Group 2, and he was like tweaking his deck as he went. And I didn't realize until like round 2, he'd been going, well, this card's crap. And then like taking out his deck and putting it aside, like after the game or like after he played it. So I had to stop him and say, mate, you're not allowed to do that. Like, can you put those back in your deck? Because you can't do it till the end. So I do like that the multi-deck allows people who are new to learn as they go. Because you can go, right, I'm playing Stanislava and it's got Fear Maquette in for some reason. I've just played her on someone and then they threw it on me and I lost the game. I'm taking that out the deck. Next game, okay. Like you should like
one thing that comes to my head is that at least in Helsinki Playgroup, you kinda can now just say that your weekly games are in fact a multi-deck tournament. Because it's usually 3 rounds and like at least 2 to 3 tables. Basically, that's a multi-deck tournament now if we all decide so. Please don't do that. Yeah,
feels a little like tournament fraud, but I see what you're saying.
Crime,
yeah. Because I think there are certain rules, because I got told off for my first event because I didn't put it on the VEKN forum. Now, I didn't do that because I'm not 80, and I felt like no one's used the forum since 1995, so why would I? But apparently it's like something you have to do, part of the advertising. And they're like, well, where did you advertise it? And I was like, oh, well, like Facebook, Instagram, like I email most people I know, like it's, I put it out
you
there.
mean? Don't you start your modem when you go to the internet? What?
How dare you not use carrier pigeons?
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. There's a few outdated things in it, but I also had a player once switch decks between events because he'd never played card games competitively before and didn't know you couldn't do that. So I was like, you didn't play that last round? And he's like, no, I didn't like that deck, so I swapped it. And it's like, oh, right, no.
That's a problem,
Yeah,
unfortunately. I
How
mean,
far
to
in
be
are
fair,
we? Okay, can we just shuffle back up? Yes, Sal, let's shuffle back up. It's fine.
there are times where like I've entered round one for it. What was the deck I played at last event? It was I can't remember. Basically, I wanted to play Baltimore Purge the second I sat down because it was 3 4-player tables. And I wasn't able to do that. And I think if I was playing Baltimore Purge, the tournament would have gone so much differently. So now you can do that, I suppose. But couldn't do that before. So you can change, but I don't know. I just don't like the idea of. Sorry, yeah, that's it. There's been times where I've wanted to drop from the event and re-enter with a different deck.
Right, I'm with you. Yeah.
Yeah,
I can get that.
I've done that in Magic loads. It's great.
And that's why you have your fake ID with you at all times. Like,
No. You just drop and then re-enter in round 2 with a loss.
Re-enter as Billy Suarez.
Bonjour to me, Robert.
Hello, I am Robert. Right. Well, thanks for chatting. I think we've covered that. I thought this would be a brief 10 minutes, but it turns out we've had quite a lot to say about it. So, full episode bonus, I guess. Hope you enjoyed it and actually didn't get bored crap of us. But well, thanks for coming on, and I'll see you guys pretty soon because we're about to do another recording. So look forward to that. Much salubrious talk. I'll put the third eye on Tommy again, just above his head. Thanks for that. Bye.
Bye.